We're very happy to be joined by Lisa Loria, the curator of the Islamic Art and Archaeology Department here at the museum. Hello, and thank you for joining us.
Hello, thank you for having me.
It's really a pleasure to see all of the hard work that you've put into this, this really big exhibition. If you could explain kind of the context of the importance of Islamic art, kind of in the narrative, of this region.
Well, I must say that not a lot of people know that, but the Israel Museum presents one of the most complete and longest narration of Islamic material culture, and our archaeological galleries present objects that comes mostly from excavations, unlike other museums around the world.
Wow.
The objects are really authentic. You can really know for sure they're not coming from Sotheby's.
Explain to our viewers that really don't know the history. When was the Islam, the Muslim periods within the history of this region?
We present objects from the 7th, and the first objects in our galleries are from the 8th and 9th centuries, go all through the chronology of Islam here in our region. And I think the latest objects here presented are from the 16th century, that comes from the walls of Jerusalem, actually.
Wow, wow. And I know there have been also some exciting finds that are making their way into the exhibit, like, amulets and different things made out of gold in Caesarea and other notable places. Tell us more about that.
Well, I think one of the greatest highlights of our permanent exhibition are gold hoards that were found in several locations here in our region, also in Jerusalem, in Tiberias, and in Caesarea. The latest finding that we are presenting actually comes from Caesarea and tells the magnificent story of the conquest of Caesarea by Crusaders. We can really see into the material culture and understand a little bit about society and people who lived here during the Islamic period, the high quality of the gold jewelry.
Even more than during other regimes throughout this area? Like, was the gold, how is it different from gold used in other cultures?
The gold during the Islamic period comes to a really high quality products such as jewelry and also coins and other artifacts, and some of them are found in those wonderful hoards. We also can learn from the hoards about the people who lived here, and most important, about why did they leave those magnificent objects behind them.
Tell us about the similarities. I think in our modern times, everyone is so focused on what separates the monotheistic religions, but at the end of the day, we do have the same common ancestor. I imagine, is that represented even in the art and the architecture? Do you see the similarities between Islam and Judaism?
Of course. I think there's lots of similarities between Islam and Judaism and also Christianity. As the youngest monotheistic religion, it absorbs ideas and also material culture into this new religion with a lot of respect, and we see it all through the artifacts that we are presenting here. I think that the best example of such objects is the usage of the written word. And we can find this written word that comes from holy contexts like the Quran, or in Judaism, of course, the Bible and prayers, and on special objects such as amulets. If you return to the gold hoards from Caesarea, for example, there's an amulet that bears a surah from the Quran. You can really find similar objects also in Judaism that uses prayers and parts of the Bible on amulets. And I think it really relates between the two religions, and you can see the similarities there. Of course, lots of symbols and also objects influenced in Islam from earlier cultures such as Judaism and Christianity.
Right.
And one of the examples is the Magen David.
So hopefully now, as the world is opening up again, and hopefully tourists will be able to come back, especially with the people coming from Dubai and the UAE and really wanting to take in the culture. Really, that could be a bridge to really understanding between peoples that don't know necessarily the ancestral origins of where we come from.
I I think it's really important and amazing. And of course, everyone is welcome to see how our fabulous galleries and the beautiful objects that we are presenting here, to know and to learn a bit about themselves, also as Muslims, but also as Jewish and Christian, and to see the mutual interface and the mutual respect that we have in Islam towards other religions and cultures.
Wow, amazing. Thank you so much. And you're so inspiring, really.
Thank you
You've
so
done a lot
much.
of great work. And I know you're, in the meantime, on the side, you're finishing your PhD. So you're not busy or anything.
No.
Not at all. A lot of free time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.